Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Combos. How are you, Lindsie?
I'm good. I just got finished eating a large bowl of oatmeal, so I am full and ready to chat.
Great. I'm drinking my coffee in my office, and I have no kids in the house, so I'm really having a nice, calm morning.
That's so nice. Isn't it nice just to have, like, the pure silence?
Well, so let me just tell you this morning. So I had asked Chris to take the baby last night because I had to go up by him anyway. And because he gets a weekday visit, but I was like, it would actually just like help me out if you took him Sunday night instead. So he's like, yeah, whatever. And then this morning I was like, okay, we're not podcasting till 10. So the other boys are with their dads. And I'm like, I'll set my alarm for 9:30. Because, you know, if I don't have kids, like, I deserve to sleep in, I feel like.
Agreed.
And, no, I didn't get that. So Javi called me at 8 o'clock this morning and, asked me some dumb question about, I don't even remember what it was, but it was obviously regarding parenting. And I was just like, I cannot believe that you called me for this. And I can't believe that you called me at 8 a.m. for this. And I was super irritated and I couldn't go back to sleep. So here we are.
Oh my gosh, like, could it not wait, or could you not send a text if he's not bleeding or you're not going
like
to the
if Lincoln,
ER?
right. Yeah. If Lincoln doesn't need me right this second, please hold off until after 9 a.m.
Please don't.
So I texted him after and I said, what the fuck? I said, I would have no kids here and I was trying to sleep in. And he goes, I thought everyone had the sleep when you're dead mentality. And I just ignored him because I was like, that was annoying.
He always says that, though.
But when I said it to him one time on Teen Mom, it was literally the end of the world. So,
well, speaking of sleep, Will and I were talking the other night about, we were just like laying in the bed and just talking. And we were talking about how sex and sleep should really be the only thing that's in the bedroom at night. And I know that's hard for a lot of couples. And, you know, we have...
Wait, what do you mean though? Like, what else would be in the bed?
Well, I mean, well, I hope
Food?
nothing. No, like your computer, your phone.
Gotcha.
You know, the room should just be used for sex and sleep. And, you know, we just had a conversation about it because... You know, you and I have talked so many times about how it's hard to like disconnect and turn off your phone and just kind of be away. And I struggle with that a lot, but I have gotten so much better about it. And I actually had somebody make me a thing for Instagram for like out of the office. So from this point forward, after 5 on Friday, I'm going to implement, like, I'm not using social media after 5 on Friday, and I will not be answering emails, direct messages, anything until Monday morning. So
it's like business hours.
Yes, business hours. Because I feel like it's so easy to get wrapped up and, like, you lose sight of life, really. And, like, you just like miss out on enjoyable things by kind of being so available. So I feel like, I don't know, it can wait until Monday, right?
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree.
So I like started looking up online about what bedrooms are used for and like if there was any articles about it. And I did find one, of course. And it said the use of PC or phone linked together was called circadian rhythm, and it's a condition that leads to basically a lack of sleep. You are basically impaired to a sense, and it impairs your ability to learn in following days. So I kind of like have started trying to test it out because, you know, the new update has a setting to where you can limit your time on your phone. Have you used that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So you just, if you have an iPhone, you can just go to your settings and it is called screen time. and you just set your downtime for whatever you want to set it to, whatever's realistic for you. And my downtime is set from 9:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. And basically what it does is it just, in a sense, disables your apps on your phone, and it notifies you if you try to go on an app, like if you try to check your email, it pops up a notice that says that like you've used your limit for the day. No, you can bypass it, but it's a good reminder. So I don't know. I've just been using it and I feel so much better. You can do your texting that way.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I literally, let me just tell you, since I woke up this morning, and I texted you and I said, I'm charging my phone, and I was just going to like take a minute and just soak in the peace and quiet. And so I sat down on my chair and I left my phone plugged in on the counter. And when I went to go grab it and bring it in the office to do the podcast, I had 12 text messages in literally less than 30 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think it's something that, I don't know. I feel like you'll get to it when you get to it, but it's not really urgent for me to get to something after 5 on a Friday.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, although I did just have to buy another phone. I bought a work phone because for when we would get the merch up on the site, which is coming probably this week, I think. I had to apply for a P.O. box so that I didn't have to put my home address as the return address. So once that gets approved, we'll have merch up. But I also had to have a phone number. And I was like, well, I don't want to put my regular phone number. So I went and got a work phone. And now I'm like in the process of trying to transfer my personal stuff, or keep my personal phone with my personal stuff, and transferring like my work email and like all my others, like my hairline stuff, the coffee combo stuff, all on my other phone. And I'm like, I literally can barely keep up with one phone, so I don't know how I'm going to do this, but we're going to make it work. And then at least with the business phone, I can for sure put the hours like Monday through Friday.
Girl, you're like nice. Kevin Gates with 2 phones.
Only I don't have one for the hose. I have one for the work.
Basically 2 work phones. It's like you have a personal line that's also still business, and you have a business line that everything that you don't want to deal with immediately, that's where the stuff goes.
We'll see how well I keep up. So since we podcasted last, I went to Joe and V's wedding. I don't think we talked about it. Yeah.
No, we haven't talked about it.
Yeah. So as soon as I flew from Atlanta, I went right to New Jersey, and their wedding was in New Jersey, and Becky actually was my wedding date, and she lives in New Jersey as well. So I went right from Atlanta straight to Becky. We got ready, and we did the wedding thing, and I bawled like a freaking baby, like sobbing everywhere. I had to step away because I was like, there obviously are times where Joe and I don't see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, like I couldn't have asked for a better stepmom for Isaac. Like, yeah, V and I had our issues or whatever when we were fucking 18 years old, but now, we're 26 and 27. So we've definitely moved past that. And I kind of just felt like it made me feel good because I was like, they really invited me to their wedding. Like,
yeah, no, I think that's the mature thing. I think you guys are handling it. They didn't have to do that. So I was handling it so well.
And it was so nice to see like Joe's extended family that I used to be close with. Like one thing that I will say is like the fathers that I picked for my children have like really strong family like bonds and stuff like that. And I think that that's honestly something that I gravitated towards, maybe even subconsciously, because when I saw, I don't know why I'm out of breath. I think I'm truly sick and I don't know what's wrong with me. But when I saw everybody, I was like, wow, this is so nice. Like, they don't hate me, and it was, like, nice to be around them. And I kind of felt like, I was proud. Like, I was so happy that Isaac had so many people around that love him. And then for V's family, like, they really treated him like they were, like, he was their family, too. And he is now, but I see so many, like, step families or, like, blended families where you can tell that one of the kids just doesn't get treated the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, I know.
And I never got that feeling. I never got that feeling about Isaac.
Well, I don't know. I just think that people, when they watch Teen Mom, you and Joe were so young, and your relationship was so much different with Joe than it was with Javi. Like, you had a marriage with Javi. You were older with Javi. You have had to learn to co-parent with Javi, but you also were in a relationship with Javi where you had a first child as well. So, you know, that child was involved. I think the situation with Joe is so far removed that you guys can see eye to eye more than your relationship with Javi, just because it's different.
Javi and I's relationship was just different from the beginning. Like, I would say that Joe and I's relationship was more organic, and because we were so young, it was a lot different, and it's so far removed now. There was no TV show. There wasn't a baby to begin with. You know, there was a lot of just like, I don't know, it just happened more naturally than I feel like Javi and I did. So I don't really know what the deal is with Javi.
It's weird though, because when I think of Joe, I always think of V. Like, I don't.
You never think of Joe by himself. It's always like Joe and V. Yes,
and I never think of Joe with you, which is weird.
No. It's always, when you think of Joe, you think, but I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully, I don't feel that way about Javi. Like, I don't think, like, when I think of Javi, I don't think of Lauren. Like, I just don't. I just think of just Javi, and truthfully, I think of, like, who's he with this week? But people probably could have said that about me, too. But anyway, moving on. So, guys, can your workout clothes double as your outfit for a night out or even to work? Most of us would say no, but that's all changing because Carbon 38 is a performance fashion e-commerce site that curates brands that blur the lines between workout wear and street style. So pieces transition easily from studio to street or from workout to weekend, and I'm obsessed.
Making luxury accessible, Carbon 38 curates pieces that mix style with function, empowering women throughout their wardrobes. The best-selling Takara lightweight leggings with a liquid finish makes it look like leather. This collection has sold out 3 times. So comfortable, breathable, lightweight, totally opaque, and in 4 different styles available. I actually just ordered these last night. I told Kail that this company is going to cause me to lose all of my money because I love everything on the website, but I ordered the Takara leggings in the full length, and I got the black and the wine color just because I thought they were good staples that you could pair with any oversized sweater or whatever. They're good staples, and I always go for the high-waisted ones because I just feel like they give you more support for whatever reason.
I love the high-waisted ones because I feel like it just, like, sucks me in and makes me look nice and slender. Carbon 38 private label articulates runway fashion trends in activewear. Moto, eyelet, ruffles, crochet, all of that. Private label designs including dresses, leggings, sports bras, and tops that are meant for so much more than just working out. You can wear them out, too. So Lindsie and I got a bunch of stuff from here, and I love sneakers, and the sneakers that I got were the Adidas by Stella McCartney, and they look like you could literally dress them out with, like, black leggings or, like, a jean jacket. I love them. I got them in black, and they kind of look like they have cheetah print on the soles.
Yes,
it's kind of cool.
I love those. I saw those,
yes.
too.
So I got those, and I love them because I can wear them to the gym, but I can also wear them to, like, go out if I dress it kind of up, like maybe do, like, a casual night out or whatever. So this website is also awesome because they do free returns within the U.S., so you really don't have a reason not to try it. If it's out of stock, you can select your size and then sign up for a notification when it's back in stock. So you really there's no reason to not do this. So Carbon 38 offers new arrivals daily from the top luxury performance fashion labels. Go to carbon38.com and use our code COFFEE for 20% off your order. That's carbon38.com and use our code COFFEE for 20% off your purchase. Can we talk about your text message to me last week that we were talking about, like, clean eating and getting back in the gym and trying to be healthy, and you told me that you were going to limit yourself to 1 coffee a week, and I was just completely mind-fucked because I was like, 1 coffee a week? I need 1 coffee daily at minimum. Like what? Like how do you determine which day of the week you need that one coffee?
Okay, well, first of all, this is a disclaimer. Everybody knows I'm dramatic. So when I said that, I was so full of shit because that's just not realistic.
Well, I'm like, literally, I have to have a minimum. Like, I don't, maybe that's like a coffee drinker that only drinks it for the flavor. Like, I think I drink coffee because it's an addiction at this point.
Well, I don't have a coffee addiction. I have a Coke addiction. And by Coke addiction, I don't mean the drug. I mean Coca-Cola Classic by Coca-Cola Company. I just have an addiction to it. And I think it's just like the carbonation or...
I love Coke.
Whatever it is.
The soda. I love Coca-Cola. And I think that you also enable that for me because you're an enabler. No, I'm just kidding. Because none of my friends love soda the way that I love soda. And it's Coke specifically. So that when I'm with you,
except me,
I see that you have Coke and I'm like, oh, I could really go for a Coke right now. Actually, I have my one friend, Kristen, she loves Coke as much as I do. And I really am trying to cut out everything except for my one coffee in the morning and water. Like that's what I'm really trying to stick to, but it's been super difficult.
Okay. So let me tell you about my situation since then, because, okay. So everybody now knows that I'm dramatic and full of shit. And
nobody knows that.
I said that I was going to limit myself to one coffee or one Coke a week. And epic fail. That didn't happen. So moving on. I do that for one day and I come up with like this sickness and I'm like, oh my God. Remember when I texted you and I was like, I feel like death?
Oh my God. It was that yogurt, wasn't it?
Well, so first off, I thought it was, I start Googling and I'm like, can you have a detox from soda?
Withdrawals.
Like, can you go through? Yeah, can you? And I thought that's what it was. And I was like, this is kind of getting scary. So I start backtracking all the things that I ate that day. And I'm like, okay, I ate a Trader Joe's salad. Like maybe something could have been bad in the meat. Like, no, because I saw them putting it out. So it looked fresh. I literally think of everything that I've had. And I keep going back to banana cream muscle milk that I got from Publix. And they had it on buy one, get one. So I was like, oh, this is great. Because normally they're like kind of expensive. And I go the next morning to get in the refrigerator and realize when I open it up that it's so thick. Like when I looked down in the thing, it was so thick. And I was like, oh my God. So I start pouring it down the drain and it's like chunks. Okay.
That's disgusting.
Mind you, I drank one the day before. So it was probably like not exactly like clabbered, but it was like on the verge of. So I probably like just didn't notice. And I hadn't had one in a long time. So I kind of like forgot the flavor. And then I looked at the lid where it said the use by date. And it was like early September. And this was like September 29th when this happened.
Oh yeah. You're like, no, hell no.
Yeah. And Publix sold me that. So I'm kind of salty about it because they made me have a virus for a day.
I mean, I would have probably went and asked to get my money back, but also I would say use it as a lesson learned. Like next time, check the expiration dates before you buy it.
Well, who thinks to check an expiration date when you're buying it from the store?
No, I agree. I agree for sure.
You know, so thanks for the food poisoning. Appreciate it. And I haven't felt sick since then.
Ugh. That's so like,
but I've also had a Coke every day since then. Like
dairy products, like curdled ones. Oh my God. Ew.
Oh God. Ugh. That's disgusting. Yeah. So on a completely unrelated note though, I was watching the news and I saw come across the screen. It's like, you know how it has the little thing on the bottom and it's like breaking news or whatever. And it's dragging across the screen and writing.
Yes.
Okay. So this was like on Atlanta's local news and it was a thing about teachers zip tying pre-K students' hands behind their back.
No, don't even tell me, because I will literally be so upset for the rest of the day.
Like, I'm going to tell you anyway, so I apologize in advance, but yes, they were zip tying their hands behind their back, and it was involving 4-year-old children. So, you know, parents were saying that, like, it broke their heart to see their child going to school, feeling like it should be a safe place to learn and get an education. And they're hearing all of these allegations. And it wasn't until, like, this happened on a Monday, and it wasn't until a Tuesday until someone called school officials about it. The females teachers that were accused of zip tying the children's hand behind their back was doing it apparently as a form of punishment, and saying it's like jail, that they need to realize real life, and it's like handcuffs. So she was basically making her own handcuffs for these 4-year-olds. And the superintendent of the school did not report it to the parents immediately when they found out about it. They actually reported it to, like, the county, or, you know, whatever they have to report it to, the board or whatever, before they ever reported it to the parents.
No. Like, honestly, what I'm about to say is probably unethical, and I really don't give a damn, but I'd be fighting somebody. Like, somebody is literally going to catch my hands, because you're not zip tying. Like, I think of Lincoln is 4 years old, and he's so innocent, and he's so way more intuitive than I could give him credit for. And if someone zip tied my son's hands, I'm literally going to use my hands to punch someone in the face, period.
That's just not a thing. And also, one thing that really made me upset was the fact that the school board, or like the district, they only suspended the 2 teachers. They did not fire them immediately.
Oh, no. See, no. There should be protests against this. And the fact that, first of all, I want to know how many students was she zip tying their hands? And at what point did the kids go home and say, oh, so-and-so zip tied my hands? Like, did one parent find out at a time? Did they all find out at the same time? Who did they go back to? Like, if Lincoln were to come home to me and tell me that his hands were zip tied, who am I even going to? Like, am I going directly to the teacher? Am I going right to the owner of his preschool? Like, and then once that's said, I'm obviously going to pull him out of school, because my son's not going to lie about that. But then do the other parents then go, do you know what I'm saying? Like, how long before these allegations were taken seriously?
Well, I think the one child's parent came forward, but the school already knew about it before the child's parent came forward. And the school did not notify the parents until 2 days after they were like, they had knowledge of this. They did not notify the parents until 2 days after.
Nope. I'm going to jail, because I'm going to be in real handcuffs, because that teacher who did it, I'm not even like, there's a no. Mm-mm.
And it says that the teachers resigned. Well, of course they resigned, because
I'm looking this up. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Why are you a preschool teacher if you're having to zip tie a child's hands? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I think it's crazy, honestly. And why would a teacher even have zip ties at school? Like, obviously this was premeditated.
No. Fuck no. Literally, people and this is what drives me nuts, is people will sit here and say that, like, I shouldn't have kids, I'm not a good parent, you know, I got knocked up at 16, blah, 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 blah. But yet here I am trying to run a nice, wholesome house, and we've got fucking preschool teachers zip tying kids' hands. Like, fuck no. This should be protested. Did they resign? Did you say that? Oh, yeah, it says that. Okay, 2 preschool teachers have resigned after students accuse them of tying their hands behind their backs with zip ties.
But I was saying it was premeditated, because in order for a preschool teacher to even have zip ties at the school, there had to be a reason.
Like, oh, I'm going to bring zip ties to my classroom today just in case a kid acts up. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
And putting their
No.
hands behind their backs. Like, it wasn't like not that it makes it any better that it would be in the front, but I mean, to put their hands behind their backs and restrain them to where they can't, that's abuse.
I can't. We need to move on because it's making me so mad.
Can't.
Are you guys ready to try on the most comfortable flat shoes you've ever worn that you can literally wear all day and every day? Seriously, you're not going to want to take them off. And, why does style mean zero comfort anyway? I'm telling you guys that since I've discovered Rothy's, I've ditched my heels, which I really hated, and I'm not looking back.
I'm a believer more and more. Rothy's is so comfortable and they're cute. They are just truly everyday flat for life on the go, stylish, classic, comfortable, and they come in 3 fashionable styles, the flat, the point, and the loafer. And my personal favorite is the loafer. I truly feel like you cannot go wrong with a good loafer. I love loafers for all time of the year, but especially fall because I wear a lot of leggings and oversized sweaters. And, sometimes I'm just not feeling a booty. So you can really dress stuff up with these loafers. They come in all different colors, and I generally like the more classic colors that match everything. So like black or gray. But I know, Kail, you have the camo ones.
Yeah, you guys know I'm obsessed with camo, so I'll do camo in anything. So the color and pattern selection is awesome, and they're always updating their lineup. So they launch new colors every few weeks and sell out constantly. Like I just said, I will wear camo in anything. So I also have the loafers in camo. And it'll blow your mind that they're made from recycled plastic water bottles because they're the softest shoe that you'll ever put on your feet. And a major added bonus is that they're machine washable. So if you're anything like me and your feet sweat, you can just throw them in the washer. So you have to check these shoes out, and you're going to want to tell every person you know.
I love my Rothy's, and I know that you will too. Right now, Rothy's has an amazing deal for our listeners. Use code COFFEE to get free shipping and no minimum.
Free shipping and free returns or exchanges on your Rothy's shoe, and trust me, you won't want to return them anyway. Go to rothys.com, ROTHYS.com, and enter COFFEE to get your cute shoes and free shipping.
No-brainer shoes that are comfortable, stylish, and sustainable, and free shipping. Go get yourself a pair today. Rothys.com, promo code COFFEE. Get this deal while it lasts. Now let's get back to the show. So it is October 1st, and I don't know how you are about like decorations and stuff like that, but every time it turns the 1st, other than November, because the day after Thanksgiving is when I decorate for Christmas, but October 1st is when I decorate for Halloween. I'm about to get up my Halloween decorations this afternoon, and I'm super excited because Jackson loves for our house to be festive.
Oh, yeah, that's cute. Some years I decorate and some years I don't. I don't know. My kids don't really care too much, although I think Lincoln might be pumped if I decorate for Halloween this year. But in previous years, I've done like more like fall, like I'll put out like pumpkins and stuff, but not necessarily like super Halloween. That way I can leave it all up October, all up November. And
Right.
Then the day after Thanksgiving, I also decorate for Christmas. Although last year I did not decorate for Christmas. I did not even put a tree up because I didn't have my kids for Christmas, and I was just really depressed. So this year we're gonna go all out. Like I'm so pumped.
Well, a lot of people honestly have been tweeting me and sending me Instagram direct messages about, how are you a Christian, but you celebrate Halloween, or it's questions from a fellow Christian asking how I feel about Halloween. And I just kind of wanted to address it because, as a child growing up, we always celebrated Halloween. It was not something that we even correlated with church. And I mean, we didn't think about it that way, I guess. And I just feel like it's something that I always enjoyed doing. Growing up as a kid, we always got, costumes, went trick-or-treating for hours. And it was just a fun night spent with friends, eating sweets and going home and going to bed and waking up and going to school, or it being the weekend. Like, it wasn't anything that we were, you know, trying to do witchcraft or being demonic or whatever.
I'm not religious, and I wouldn't even, like, I guess now that you say it like that, like, I guess you can say it's like the devil's holiday or whatever, but like, I don't know one single Christian that is like, oh, we don't celebrate we don't celebrate Halloween because it's the devil's holiday. Like, literally, I don't know anyone that does that.
And I know a lot of, you know, Christians say, you know, sometimes we're called to sacrifice things to reflect the purity of Christ. And yes, I do believe that you are called to sacrifice things to reflect the purity of Christ. I do believe that. However, I don't believe that applies to my child dressing up as an Incredible and eating candy. So I just don't. I mean,
yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. I don't see the correlation, and I'm not even religious, so I don't know how. But literally, now that I'm thinking about it, like, truly, no, there's a lot of Christians in my life, and they all let their kids dress up and go trick-or-treating.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary. I think that, you know, as Jackson gets older, obviously things, you know, change as you get older, and you're not going to be dressing up as an Incredible or a Minion forever. And I would probably venture to say I would never let him dress up as anything that was evil, that like tried to scare people, or demonic, or like dark and satanic. You know, I would say I wouldn't let him do something like that, just because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in using Halloween to scare people. There was this one man a few years ago that went around our neighborhood, and he was scaring all of the little kids. And Jackson remembered that for like a whole year. And he would look out his bedroom window and say the person's name. And he's like, he's going to get me. He's going to get me. And I don't believe in doing stuff like that to little kids. So, you know, for stuff like that, I'm out. But there's a time and a place for everything. And if my child wants to dress up and is an Incredible and eat candy, that does not reflect on my beliefs what type of Christian you are at all. Yes, at all. So, yeah. But I did read that there's something called Mischief Night. Have you heard of this, Kail?
Yes, I have. And I remember, like, I never participated in it, and I don't know anyone who did, but I remember growing up hearing about people who did. Like, I didn't know them, but I remember hearing about people who did do Mischief Night, which is like vandalizing houses and TPing and doing like slashing tires and like
basically being a vandal.
Yeah, it does scare me because I'm like, am I a target? You know, because people have. No, I'm serious. I remember last year. I don't remember if I had my kids last year. I want to say I did, and we went. And I was just like, am I going to go home and have my house vandalized? Or am I going to go home and is my other car going to be vandalized? So I will say that it does scare me because you never know, like, is someone going to accidentally take it too far? And then what? They're going to have to, like, kill me at that point. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm home and I catch them and they're going to be like, oh my God, I have to finish the job. And then they're going to kill me. Well, I also watch too much ID channel. So maybe that won't happen.
True. And we always think like the worst of all situations, like somebody's going to end up dead or, you know, whatever. But honestly, it is true. And I don't believe in doing stuff like that. Like the Mischief Night, that doesn't fly for me. And if my child was participating, I would be pissed. But, you know, going out and trick-or-treating and grabbing some candy from some folks, I think that's perfectly fine. So
yeah, I agree.
You know, I don't know. I just think it's crazy. And some of the messages that I received, I'm like, whoa, y'all need to chill out and stop sending messages. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you had tweeted about Pizza Lunchables and I just want to talk about it.
Okay. I think at this point they should sponsor me because the amount of tweets and retweets and quoted retweets, like, first of all, I'm mad at Twitter because they don't show like the quoted retweets in the amount of retweets it got. And I really think that Lunchables would have picked up on it and sponsored me. I have literally 12 Pizza Lunchables in my fridge right now. My kids love
Pizza
them.
Lunchables. Like,
they're so good. And I don't know if you're going to tell me that you don't like them and you can't believe that I eat them. But people were relating to that tweet.
Okay, well, there's two things. Actually, a lot of things, but two main things that I have on this. So, first of all, Lunchables are for the children's. And
no, they are for adults too.
And secondly, I don't know why Lunchable would have thought it was a good idea to have a pizza Lunchable when the whole idea of Lunchable is convenience and for kids to take to school, field days, field trips, whatever. Because pizza is meant to be hot. So
okay, no,
why is that a cool thing?
That's where you're wrong. And I'm going to call you out on that because you can eat pizza any type of way. You can eat it cold. You can eat it hot. You can eat it sitting out for 3 days. It doesn't really matter.
No, you cannot eat pizza sitting out for 3 days. That is not a thing.
Lindsie, I will eat leftovers that have been on my counter for 4 days.
Okay, first of all, if you have leftovers that have been on your counter for 4 days, we need to call a housekeeper. That's first. Secondly,
I mean, they're covered, but I'll eat it. If there's a pizza.
You don't leave stuff like that left out. That is spoiled.
Yeah, I'll foil cover it and then leave it on. Oh, you said spoiled.
Yeah, that's spoiled. Like, that is spoiled. That is rotten, and you should not be eating it.
Oh, I will literally eat it. And so pizza Lunchables are so good cold. Like, I think that it would take away from the Lunchable if you heated up a pizza Lunchable. Like, you don't heat those up. That's cold pizza. It's so good. I'm going to take a selfie eating one later.
Kail, some people were tweeting me after I responded to that, and they were agreeing with me. And then there were some people that was like, no, cold pizza's good. But then there was a lot of people that were like, oh, my kids heat them in the microwave or whatever. Well, that takes away the whole point of the Lunchable. If you have to heat something in the microwave, that's not accessible. My kid's not walking around with a pocket microwave at school. So
no, but a pizza Lunchable is so good. Like, I love them. Oh, they should sponsor me. I'm telling you. I think actually Rob Deerduck, I'm pretty sure he invested in Lunchables. So, I mean, I liked them before he was involved. I'll always love them. I don't know what it is about them, but you eat them cold and you can take them anywhere. And I'm going to send a picture of the 12 Lunchables in my fridge. So, Lunchables, if you're listening, my kids and I are totally open for a collab.
I like the Lunchables that have the crackers and the cheese and the meat in them, but the pizza is just, I'm going to say, a no-go.
Well, you can do homemade version of Lunchables with Ritz crackers and then the cheese and the meat.
Yeah, for sure. And I've done that so many times before. It's easy and it's good. So guys, with the season change, it may be the perfect time for you to switch up your scent. With Scentbird Luxury Fragrance Subscription Service, every month you can choose a new fragrance from over 450 designer brands. Personally, I hate buying the huge bottles of perfume. They just all sit on this shelf for years. Just for fun, I counted how many full-size bottles of perfume I had, and I had 10 bottles of full unused perfume. And right now I am really into the Elizabeth and James Nirvana White and Black. And I know I've talked about that so many times, but I just really love these two fragrances. The Nirvana White, for those of you who like an everyday fragrance, this is the perfect one. It's light, it's feminine, it's a little more floral, but it's not an overwhelming floral scent because I don't really like too floral. And then the Nirvana Black, it's more like a date night scent. It's more sexy smelling, kind of more woody. And they are both best sellers. And I just truly love these two scents for two different reasons. So I take mine everywhere. It's so easy to have on hand with the sleek travel spray bottles. You cannot go wrong.
So you guys know that I've talked about Bamboo by Gucci, and I did love it. Now I am trying something new. I got the Tom Ford Black Orchard, and I have tried other Tom Ford fragrances, and I like some of them, don't like some of them. So that's why we love Scentbird, because you can kind of switch it up, try different fragrances, and so that's what I'm wearing right now. I like it, and it's funny because it's funny because the last time Lindsie and I were together, we got in an Uber in Atlanta, and the Uber driver was like, "Oh my gosh, you smell so good." And I was like, "That's Lindsie."
Yes, that was me.
That's why I always use scentbird.com. So visit scentbird.com/coffee and pick your first perfume today and use our code COFFEE for 50% off. Pick your first perfume for just $7.50 and free shipping. That's scentbird.com/coffee. Use our code COFFEE for 50% off your first month, and you get to date a perfume before you have to commit to it forever.
On another note, the Bill Cosby sentencing happened this week. Did you watch any of it?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. And I don't. I did follow Amber Rose's reaction to it. Did you?
I didn't follow her reaction, but I knew you would.
Yeah. So people were giving her a bunch of crap, I guess, for her beliefs and saying that, he should be away and he should serve the entire sentence. And then the day after he gets out, go to jail or die. And just that she agreed with what was going on, and that, it's really unfortunate that we all, kind of grew up watching him. And, he was a TV father figure for everybody, who watched the show. And the whole thing is just, I just feel like so many of these cases and these situations are happening, like, especially even the Kavanaugh stuff. Like, these are, I don't know if it's like the world of social media or if it's like, I don't know what it is that this is happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Is it because of social media?
The Kavanaugh stuff, there's so many holes in that girl's story that I just don't know. I typically am all, about the female, all about, why would somebody accuse somebody of something like that? Something that heinous for it not to be real.
Mm-hmm.
But in that specific situation, I mean, she's represented pro bono. Something this high profile, you need to go out and hire an attorney, because just no. 2, she claimed that she couldn't fly because she's afraid of flying, yet they traced it back and she flies for work and for trips all the time, all over the world. So it's like, okay,
that part.
You can fly for work or for leisure, but yet you're going to come out and make these statements against somebody, and you can't fly to do that because you're fearful of flying. There's just a few things that just didn't add up that just makes me question for sure on that specific situation. But in the Bill Cosby situation, and I don't know if you remember, way back when it came out about the dad from Seventh Heaven,
oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes, I do remember.
It's unfortunate, and it's crazy to me that when I think about Bill Cosby and then the dad from Seventh Heaven, these were 2 men that were very influential people, that had huge impact on kids' lives that were watching and were involved with as fellow cast. And it almost makes you wonder if they share personality traits or something. You know what I mean? To be cast into similar roles on different TV shows, obviously, but kind of playing the same role on 2 different TV shows. I don't know. It's just very strange to me, but I definitely respected the judge, because I don't feel in court cases or anything, if you got in trouble, if I got in trouble, if anybody that is in the entertainment industry, I don't feel like we should get special treatment either way. So we shouldn't get worse treatment, but we shouldn't get better treatment either. We should be treated exactly the same. And, the judge said when he was sentencing Bill Cosby that he is not permitted to treat him any differently based on who he is or who he was. He deems him as a sexually violent predator. And even though his attorney's rebuttal was that he has not acted out in 5 years, I don't know. History has a way of repeating itself. And yeah, he hasn't acted out in 5 years because he's 81 years old. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't have to pay consequences for things that he has done that have been proven to be true.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at it right now, it says that, well, so there was only 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault. I thought there was more than that.
Originally, but I think he was only charged with.
He was only convicted of 1.
And it says that he's serving 3 years.
3 to 10 years.
I think he'll serve 3 and then
3.
Get out
on good
house
behavior
arrest.
Or whatever. Mm-hmm.
He'll be under supervised, whatever. So it'll basically just be like house arrest. But I don't know. And I don't know how state prison works. Will he...
It bothers me that... Sorry, go ahead.
Will he be with other sexually violent predators, or will he be like in general pop? Like, where will he be? Will he even survive through prison? Because people don't like child abusers,
sexual predators.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, they just don't. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of follow to see what happens, because I'm sure the media will heavily follow it.
It bothers me that people are defending him, because I don't care if he's 40 years old or 81 years old. If you sexually assaulted somebody, you should be charged for it. And when you Google Bill Cosby, the first 2 things that come up is that the comedian Jay Torre says Bill Cosby's prison sentence is rotten and a bad deal. And then Kay Michelle, who's a singer, she was, I believe, on Love and Hip Hop, blasts Amber Rose's Bill Cosby comments. And I'm not really sure why anyone would defend him. I mean, if he was convicted of sexual assault, he was convicted of sexual assault.
And I mean, it's not a black-white thing. I mean, that's just...
No,
it's
it
not.
goes for anybody. No.
And I hate when people try to make something about race. Like, this applies to anyone. It doesn't matter if he's a black man or a white man. It does not matter. He is a sexual predator. I don't care if he's 81. And I am the type of person that I have a true weakness for old people. Like, I will do anything for the elderly. So, the fact that he's 81 and I have no sympathy should say a lot, because I would do anything for the elderly.
Oh, man. There's just so much stuff going on between that, Kavanaugh. I just can't. I literally cannot. I just, wasn't going to bring up the Kavanaugh stuff, because whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, no matter what you are, to me, the situation is fucked up in any way that you look at it. So whether you believe that it happened and, he shouldn't be, able to go through with what he's doing, or you believe that it didn't happen and they're just stalling, or whatever the hell you believe. And no matter what, the man's life is ruined. So it doesn't really matter which way it goes at this point. So I have lost all faith in our country at this point. And I wasn't really going to get too much into it, because people are like, oh, you need to use your platform to talk about politics. And then I lose half my following because they don't agree with what I say. So I try to stay away from politics as much as I can, and I kind of just keep to myself about it. But I think no matter, in this case, in the Kavanaugh case, I think no matter what way you look at it, it's fucked up.
Well, and I mean, I think the whole situation is messed up, like you said, because no matter which way you go, there's going to be a negative, either way. Like, there's no positive to the situation. And whether he did it or whether he didn't do it, there's a stigma around him now that he did. So even if he's being falsely accused of something, they, go through this FBI investigation and, prove that it didn't happen or it did happen. Either way, he's still looked at in a different light because of.
Yeah, they were saying that he shouldn't even be able to coach his daughter's basketball team anymore.
I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, it's just crazy to me. And I don't understand, I guess, out of the whole situation of if this happened, however many years ago it was. What did she say, like 30 years ago or something?
36, yeah.
if that's the case, why do you wait until he's going to be in a position of, power?
But he's been in a political position up until this point anyway. So
Right.
Why didn't you stop him prior to? Like, why only now?
Which makes me even further question if it's true, because again, like you just said, why wouldn't you have come out however many years ago?
Like while he was climbing the ladder, because it's not like this is the first position, public position or, position of power that he's in. You know what I mean? Like the positions that he's been in prior to, I feel like why not stop him then? I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is just crazy and makes my skin crawl. But it's time for BioClarity. Let's get it. It's time to stop the madness, get clear skin now. And how do you ask? We do that. You use BioClarity. So BioClarity helps fight breakouts, soothe skin, minimize redness, reduce pore size, and even tone your skin. So get the results with garden lush ingredients in as little as 2 weeks.
You know it, you love it, and you need it. You guys, would we be going on about this stuff if it wasn't awesome? BioClarity is delivered straight to you, and it is an easy-to-use 3-step skincare routine that's 100% vegan, plus gluten and cruelty-free. BioClarity is a complete skincare system with 2 different daily routines. I personally use the Essentials routine. It works for me. It keeps my skin with that glowy complexion. And I have been using the clarifying mask this week just because I wanted to try it because I've used the hydrating mask. And I really like this one because it has the cooling aloe. And I'm obsessed with anything that has like cooling gels and stuff in it. I just love the way it makes my skin feel. And after I use it, my face feels really tight and toned. And I just really like it.
So now they have body wash for your whole body, which I need it because I've been going to the gym lately and sweating. So it kind of just makes me feel like clean and refreshed, my back, my shoulders. And I've been using the Beauty Boost Beauty Supplement Wash, which is packed with vitamins so you can take care of your skin all over your body. Like I said, it's perfect for after the gym. It's like green juice for your face and now your whole body. BioClarity products are loaded with soothing ingredients like Floralux from chlorophyll, and they're all hydrating but super lightweight. If you're ready to detox and rejuvenate, it's time to pick your routine and get the whole party started. You can do that by going to our website and using our code. So get started on healthier habits with your skincare. Go to bioclarity.com and our listeners will get 15% off their entire first purchase plus free shipping. So when you buy a routine, you get a discount and free shipping. It comes with a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. And be sure to enter our code COFFEE. That's bioclarity.com and enter our code COFFEE. I'm going to move on to a lighter note because I want to tell you, over the weekend, I took the kids so we had a sleepover with Lux's cousins. They came to the house or whatever, and we went to like the orchard over here by our house. We did like the little hayride and like the food and the games and the corn maze. And I truly just hated the corn maze because it was so hard. And I gave up and I turned around and I got the hell out. And then the kids went in again with our friends. But they had a really good time at the orchard. And I think they do like pumpkin picking and apple picking and all that. So it I'm looking forward to, the weekends that I do have with the kids, because I'm going to do one weekend to do pumpkin picking and then one weekend for apple picking. And even though it's the same place, it's like a different thing to do there every time. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're going back to do the same stuff. And so the kids are super excited about apple picking. So
I just love fall.
Yeah, I love the fall. And actually, I got a ton of cute boots, so I'm waiting for the stuff to come in. And I'm excited so I can dress up and be cute. And also, my goal right now is to lose 30 pounds in the winter because I am going to Mexico in January. And you know how people are like, oh, like new year, new me, and then they go to the gym and then they want to like lose weight and get ready for summer. Like my plan is to do it this fall so that I'm already I'm prepared when I go to Mexico, and then in the spring, and then people are like, oh, damn, like you really did that, and not even like.
Yeah, if you wait until it's time for summer, like you're too late.
Yeah, I agree. So that's I wanted to tell you too. I don't know if I told you in Atlanta? No, because it would have been after that. So I took Lux to his 1-year physical and they checked out his legs. Did we talk about this?
No, we didn't talk about it.
Okay. So Chris is Lux's dad, and he's super bow-legged, and sorry, Chris, for putting you on blast. And sorry about that. But he's very bow-legged, but he's also like a really good athlete. And so I don't think it ever really affected him. And from what I know of him, the last 4 years, he's not like in pain or anything. So when I've noticed that he's bow-legged, I'm super congested. Sorry. It didn't really, I didn't think anything of it because it doesn't affect his walking. It doesn't affect his running or anything like that. And, but for whatever reason, all the doctors on social media, the Twitter doctors, Instagram doctors are telling me that I'm ignoring my son's problem and he needs to go get checked out and I'm negligent and I'm not a good parent and so on and so forth. So I said, well, he's got his 1-year physical coming up, so I'm going to just have his legs checked out then. And his pediatrician was like, literally, no, there's nothing wrong with his legs. She like put him down on his back and pulled his legs straight out. There's nothing wrong with them. And they wouldn't do anything about it until after 2 years old anyway. And they'll reevaluate when he turns 2, but she's like not even the slightest bit concerned. So all the people on Twitter and Instagram who've been on my nuts all these months can really just shut up now because I'm not negligent. I take care of my child and his legs are fine.
Well, and I'm just going to say, I said he was fine. And as he grows, it will be less noticeable. But because he's so small, I think that's why it's so noticeable. And because he walks different than your other two. So, yeah, obviously.
I mean, for sure, he's definitely more bow-legged than my other children were. I mean, Isaac, I don't think was. And then Lincoln was a little bit, but grew out of it. However, she did mention that sometimes when they walk before 1, that sometimes they do appear to be more bowed than a child who walks after their 1. So there's other factors. But when she pulls them straight out when he's laying down, they were fine. So they'll keep an eye on it. They'll check it again when he's 2 and then go from there. But I truly don't think that there's anything wrong. I think that social media really just got in my head about it. And I wanted to just have a little bit of peace of mind and also like let people know that I'm fully capable and aware of like my child's issues. So if that was a problem, I would have already kind of taken care of it. But moving on. Okay, you guys. So I'm excited to stop and tell you about my latest HelloFresh adventures. I've been waiting for this. So I've been talking about taking all types of like cooking classes because I don't know how to cook, but HelloFresh makes it easy for me to do that. So HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so you can cook, eat, and enjoy. There's 3 meal plans that you can choose from: the classic, the veggie, and the family. Each box is made up of fresh, responsibly obtained ingredients from carefully selected farms and high-rated trusted sources. The Global Eats option brings authentic international dishes and flavors to the home cooks for exciting new meals to enjoy. I know Lindsie loves that.
Yes.
And then you don't have to plan the dinner, spend the money, and then, take out whatever, worry about gathering ingredients week after week. It's frustrating for me as a single mom with 3 kids. I just don't have the time. And if I forget like an ingredient, I'm not running back out to Walmart for, with my 3 kids to get one thing. So I've been dying to tell you guys about, I'm trying the chicken cheddar fajitas, and I know my kids are going to love it because they do love like taco style food, and they love Mexican. So I feel like that's going to be a good hit in this house.
I've actually tried those before and they are very good. I look forward to my HelloFresh delivery knowing that dinner just got so much easier. There are loads of one-pot recipes for seriously speedy cooking and minimal cleanup, which I love. I hate to clean up. Cooking becomes something that you actually want to do when you get home from work. You can spend less time planning grocery shopping for each week and get that time back to do more things of what you love. Get out of that recipe rut and start cooking outside of your comfort zone by discovering new delicious recipes in each week's box. I just made the Korean chicken. It's Korean style chicken thighs with cucumber salad and jasmine rice. And I know that we talk about HelloFresh so much, but I just adore it for my family. And I'm really into chicken everything right now. So that's why I decided to try this recipe. And it was so good. I generally try to pair a rice and some type of vegetable and then some type of protein. So this was the perfect meal for us. For a total of $60 off, that's $20 off of your first 3 boxes, visit HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos60 and enter coffeeconvos60. It's like receiving 6 meals for free or up to 50% off of 3 boxes.
Again, visit HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos60 and enter Coffee Combo 60 for a total of $60 off. That's $20 off your first 3 boxes.
But yeah, so a lot of people, and I did notice that when you asked about the podcast questions today, before we were recording, a lot of people ask about my divorce and the last thing that they saw on TV. So I just wanted to kind of address those things, and there's nothing to be hidden. It's just, you guys saw a storyline that played out on Chrisley Knows Best. And at that time I had filed for divorce and we never really touched up on it because I'm no longer filming the show. So it's kind of hard to follow up on a storyline when I no longer am filming. However, I took the time to focus on my child, focus on wanting to start the podcast. That's something that I wanted to do for a long time. And I needed the time away to be able to do that and to be able to make it work. And also to focus on my relationship and where that kind of was. Because when I filed for divorce, I will honestly say that I didn't know if that's what I really wanted. I felt like it was the right thing to do at that time. And I don't know how you felt, Kail, when you filed for divorce, but I had such mixed emotions whenever I did it, because I felt immediately when I did it, I felt a sense of relief, but I also felt a sense of, oh my God, am I making the right choice?
Yes. So I had consulted with a divorce attorney months. I'm so sorry. A divorce attorney months before, I think actually years before I actually followed through with it. And yeah, it was years because I think it was as soon as we moved to Delaware. And I kind of just felt like, even though I am like the breadwinner in the relationship, or I was, and even though kind of everything would have been 50-50, I kind of felt like maybe I need to get my ducks in a row. I need to figure this out. Maybe I can convince him to, like, we can work this out. We can convince each other that we're actually still in love. And so I didn't go through with it. And then when I actually did go through with it, I still kind of felt like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? You know what I mean? And I think that's part of it. So I think that's normal. I really do. Unless,
it's just that uncertainty. And, I know my parents were giving me advice and telling me, don't do it unless you're 100% sure that's what you want to do and like you're going to follow through with it. And, I understood that.
But how can you ever be 100% sure of a divorce? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many what ifs and the fear of the unknown that, yeah, it might be for the best. And I'm not saying that it was for you, or is for you at all. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm just saying, like, even if you're certain, I don't know that you can be 100% certain when there's kids involved. You know what I mean?
And I think even if you even remove the children out of it, I do think it's easier to divorce when you don't have kids, because you don't have that child to split. But
right.
I will say you married that person for a reason. So even though, I know you've said in the past that you thought it might not work out from the jump, I didn't really have those feelings. But, Will and I also were so young when we got married. Of course, I felt like, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't work out? if I ever have to get divorced, I don't want to say I'm divorced at, 22 years old, that,
right.
That just doesn't sound good. So, I took time and we did counseling. We worked together, and I will say it was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, to have to try to work with another person that you're not seeing eye to eye, and that person is stubborn and only wants to see their way.
But imagine doing that when you're not together. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and I'm actually really glad that you're talking about it, because I feel like, unfortunately, people relate more to the hard times and the pain than they do the happiness, just because, I mean, it's a dog eat dog world out here. So, it's, people do relate to the pain and the struggle more. And I think that for people who are listening, that this can really, truly help them. So I'm glad that you're talking about it. I mean, you kind of,
honestly, like, it's not something that when I did it, like, it wasn't, for a storyline for Chris Lee Knows Best. It was truly how I felt at that time. And I think it was more of like a call for help. Like, somebody help me, please. Like, my marriage is not where it needs to be. We aren't happy. I don't know how to fix it, because it's hard to try to fix something when two people are in completely different places in their life. I know my love for him was still there, but the stars weren't aligning in the right order. And I didn't know what to do.
And I think for some marriages and for some people, that's kind of part of being married, is loving that person through all the bullshit and the hard times and not seeing eye to eye. But there are, there are times where you grow apart and you kind of navigate it and figure out how to still make it work when you're growing apart. And then there are times where it's like, okay, now we've outgrown the marriage or the relationship. And it's like kind of making that decision whether it's still something that you guys can be in together, or it's time to go your separate ways. But I think either way, it's kind of worth trying to figure out and talking about. Just, I don't know. I'm glad that you're.
And I think it's easy to like jump ship. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, that people think it's the grass is greener always. Like, they really truly do. And I think I was one that was really quick to like just jump ship. Oh, we're having problems. Let me go talk to a divorce attorney, and then him for the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to be like, oh.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to stay together and try to work out the problems that you have. Yep. And, my grandmother told me whenever I was going through it that, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And even if you're with somebody else, you're just going to inherit their bullshit instead of his.
Well, and so that's the other thing too, is like when people message me on Instagram or whatever, and they talk about divorce and they want to get out and they want to do this, it was like, I knew that if I was going to walk away, I needed to walk away saying that I tried everything that I could to make it work before I walked away.
Same.
Javi and I tried marriage counseling. I tried to convince myself and probably everybody else that I was in love, or that we would fall back in love. And I would, do certain things and, convince him, it's okay if you go out, do what you want to do. I didn't want to be that wife that was, nagging you to stay home and not do anything. Like, I tried to encourage, his own space and my own space. And it just, I can truly say that we tried everything and it didn't work, and that's okay. But the other side of it is like, okay, you think the grass is going to be greener, but you're going to end up in the same situation with somebody else. Like, you not only have to start over, but now you're going to go through like a period of like loneliness where you maybe like being alone, but then you kind of want to be with somebody, and then you start dating someone, you kind of have to start over. And then at the end of it, you're going to struggle through some of the same things with going through the phases of a marriage, unhappy, happy, honeymoon phase. Oh, now you're growing apart, you grow back together. You're going to do the same thing with somebody else. So you kind of have to decide, like, and I think that's the gray area, is like, when do you decide that is
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, like you go through like the ebbs and flows, you know, within a marriage or within a relationship. That's just part of it. And I think that social media and just the fact of being on TV and having it televised or having people know, you know, from the outside that, you know, people who don't know you looking in and judging your situation, that adds an additional added pressure to the situation. So it's like all of that combined. And then you see these Instagram relationships. We've talked about it before, people who front for IG and have all of these lovey-dovey photos, but it's never, you know, the real raw truth of what's going on behind closed doors. And I'm not out there saying that there can't be people that are super happy with each other and whatever, but everybody has problems. And I think that social media has made it to where people have to feel like that they need to be perfect. And I fell into that trap. I fell into, oh my gosh, well, these people aren't experiencing this, so maybe I'm doing everything wrong. Maybe I should get out of this.
You know what? It's so weird that you say that, because lately I've kind of been feeling the same. Like, no, I'm not 100% committed in a relationship right now, but I feel like some of the people around, not only is I feel like everyone I know getting married, but, you know, I would have loved to like be with someone where, you know, 2 of my kids have the same dad, or, you know, Lux has a full sibling, or, you know, whatever that it may be, whatever that looks like. But lately I've been feeling like some of the people that I look at them, and this is me being very judgmental, and I'm not typically like this, but I think it comes from like a little bit of bitterness, is like, why do they, you know, this man asked them to marry them, and they have, you know, 2 kids by the same people, and they're, you know, living like essentially a happy, carefree life. And here I am, like, nobody wants to marry me, and nobody cared to stay around long enough to give me another child. So obviously I'm the problem and need to work on myself, but I kind of am looking at it like, damn, like, am I really worried about the wrong things? Because that's not, I should be focused on my own self, not what everybody else is doing. But I feel pressure again to get married and have more kids.
Yeah. I mean, and it's very easy to fall into that because, you know, I fell into the, you know, I already have that personality trait of wanting to be perfect anyway, but then I felt like social media made it even worse to want to have that perfect relationship and, you know, this lovey-dovey. And yes, you know, do we love each other? Yes, we love each other. But do we fight? Yes, we just fought this morning because Will let his alarm clock, he pressed snooze probably 7 times between 6:40 and 7:30. And I'm finally like, if you don't get up, you're not sleeping in here tonight.
See,
you know,
like
so,
that's where I'm at. I feel the pressure of social media and society right now. And I want to fight with someone about hitting snooze 7 times. Like, I want to fight with someone about getting the fuck up.
You know, it's like,
like, please let that be my problem.
It's like, can you please, and in every way that I say this, wake up. Like, that applies to everything in life. Can you wake up to the situation? Can you actually wake up and get out of the bed? Can you wake up? Like, hello. Yeah. And, you know, I know my Instagram is a curated feed and, you know, I have professional photos that are on there, and that in no way means that my life is perfect. I just aesthetically like things to look a certain way. I love photography. I'm obsessed with it. And, you know, that's just part of something that I love. And that's why my page looks like it does. And if I'm not posting a picture with Will, chances are it's because he's either at work, he's either in Texas and I don't know about it, or Jackson and I are off doing something at a time that Will is working, so he cannot be there. That doesn't mean that he's absent. That doesn't mean that he's like MIA, however he might be MIA in Texas. But yeah, that doesn't mean that. So I think people read way too far into things and, you know, try to place a stigma and try to place pressures on people with comments that they leave and whatever. So I just encourage everybody to just try to be kind, try to live a real life. And it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to, you know, not have a perfect marriage. It's okay to talk about those things. And it's okay not to display that everything's perfectly fine at home, because you might have a husband who hits snooze 7 times on a Monday.
I want someone to have that argument. But wait, before we go, I want to just do quickly. I think we have a few question and answers on my Instagram.
Perfect.
Where do you guys see yourself in 5 years?
I don't know where I see myself in 5 minutes.
Lindsie, See, that's something I would say. You're the one that would be like, have your life planned down to a T for the next like 7.5 years. And I would be like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing after I do this podcast. But truly, yeah. People ask me the 5-year plan all the time. And I am so like, maybe I'm like 2 different people in one body, because I will literally be like, oh, I'm staying in this house forever. And then the next podcast, oh, I'm looking for a home. And it's like, but you just said that you're staying in that house forever. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So don't ever listen to me when I say stuff like this, but 5 years, I don't know. I would love to have my own show.
In 5 years, Kail and I will be filming Coffee Combos live reality TV. I'm just kidding.
Yes. No, I agree. And I will probably have 2 more children.
2 more children? No, you will have 2 more children.
That's what I said.
No, you said we. There's no we.
Okay, we together will have 3 more, because I'll have 2 and you'll have 1 more.
I know. The pressure's on. A lot of people are asking me that question too about baby number 2. I don't know. Maybe.
Do we know anything?
No, I know nothing. Right now, honestly, I'm looking for land. I have a floor plan that I want to build. Just the right thing hasn't come available, and there's a specific area that I want to be in. So hopefully within 5 years, we will be moved into our forever home. Jackson will be close to 10, I guess, in 5 years, or I guess close to 11 in 5 years. And I think we're just going to be traveling and living life. I don't know as far as work, if we will be doing reality TV, if we will be, Kail will be writing 12 more books. I don't know.
See, that's the thing, is like, I would love to have our own show at some point. Whether it's like an online thing or a TV thing, I'm open to either suggestion or either route. I started writing another book, which I don't know if I'll ever like finish it, because I have a couple of those, but obviously writing, whether I publish or not. And then if I'm not on reality TV or podcasting or anything like that, then I think that I would go back to school to do my master's in something else. Because there's no real place for me to work with my communications degree where I'm at. And I obviously have to stay pretty close by for the kids. And hopefully the hairline will take off. That's what my main focus is right now. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully maybe the company will expand. Like maybe this will be a huge hit and I'll get to expand my company. That would be amazing. And then obviously I'd still podcast and be open to the show. And the other question was, where was it? Oh, biggest lessons from being on reality TV.
Biggest lessons from being on reality TV. Always be yourself, because I feel like sometimes it's easy to try to mask things to make things look one way so that you're not vulnerable, but then you come across completely who you aren't. And I think it's just better to be authentic and true to what's going on and be open about it versus trying to hide your feelings and fear of what people are going to think. I think that you just should not give a shit and should just live your true self.
I think I can definitely attest to both sides of that. I feel like I've come off like super cold. We've talked about it before. Like I've come off super cold and just like not approachable on the show, or like I make it seem a certain way because of how cold and standoffish I am. And so part of me regrets that, because I feel like if I was more open about my feelings and showed more of my emotions, and people could relate even more. On the other hand, I do feel like, yeah, be open and talk about certain things, because you'll actually probably help people more than you think. However, maybe don't let them into like super intimate details, just because people don't need to know like those types of struggles in a marriage or a relationship or whatever. So I think that part is, be open and honest, but not necessarily telling too much, I think.
Agreed.
And I think that's like my biggest lesson. And I'm not saying that my reality show is not scripted. but there are certain, it is a TV show and they do have to show it in a way that makes sense to viewers. So be conscious of that, The last question was, where will your new book be available to purchase? And it launches in Barnes & Noble the week of October 9th, which is next week. So it should be in a Barnes & Noble near you. I'm also going to be doing signings in the tri-state area first. We had to change things up a bit. And if you pre-ordered my book on 13thandjoan.com, you're getting your signed books in the mail. You should be getting them. I signed over 100 in Atlanta and shipped them out last week. And I have more to sign here. So I'm just trying to get through them day by day. And hopefully I'll see y'all at a signing.
And I'm still waiting on my copy. So I've already touched it and looked and read a little bit when we were together, but I'm still waiting on my signed copy. So I'm super excited. This is a book that you guys definitely want to read. So make sure you get yourself one at either Barnes & Noble or 13thandjoan.com. And thank you guys for listening to us rant and rave this week. If you guys have not followed us on @CoffeeCombos Podcast, please make sure you follow us on Instagram there. And if you have not left a 5-star review on iTunes, you can either leave a 5-star review or a written review or both. We appreciate them and we hope you guys have a good week.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.